Hey guys, it's InCircles36 here, bringing you a build mode tutorial. We're going to do the Vertebraid today. So we're skipping straight past cutting your wires and all that fun stuff. You guys know how to do that. We're going to do a 3-loop Vertebraid, both split and the full. I've got all the wires set up right here, ready to go. Basically all you need is 3 strands of Kanthal of even length. I'm using 28 gauge today. It's easy to see, easy to work with. And you're also going to need some type of clamp or vise or something like that. So we've got all 3 loops here, all 6 strands lined up and ready to go. Those are going to go in this wood clamp here, and then we'll be set to start. Give her a nice little wiggle there. Make sure they're all sticking in. Alright, we're good to go. Okay, as you can see, we've got our 3 loops here now. And if the start of your braid doesn't start out very clean, that's totally fine. It happens a lot, especially if you kind of rush throwing it in the clamp. Once it gets going, it's a piece of cake. So what we're doing here, this is the full Vertebraid, not the split. And you can kind of start to see that taking shape there. Okay, so here's a good look at the handwork for the Vertebraid. Basically got your 2 loops over here and the one over here. You're going to take your middle finger, go through the bottom one, over the top of the top one, grab that, pull through and tighten, nice and neat on the bottom. Then you're going to reverse and repeat. So through, over the top, and pull tight. Basically, you're going completely perpendicular at a right angle to the braid to tighten that up. So now you can see that braid taking shape. And again, this is a little inconsistent just because my clamp was moving around a lot. But you get the idea. Now let's move on to the split braid. Okay, so now for the split Vertebraid. It's going to be very similar. All you're going to do is, instead of going over the top of the second loop over here, you're going to go straight through and pull. And what you're going to get from that is actually 2 separate braids of 3 strands instead of one big one of 6. So just through and pull tight. And through and pull tight. So here's a quick macro look at the split Vertebraid. That's what you'll get again when you go through the middle of the top loop. And I just went on ahead and did a bunch more of the full Vertebraid. I can usually make it look cleaner if I'm not talking. With either the full Vertebraid or the split, you can do basic macro coils or micro coils if you like. One of my favorite ways to do it is to lightly hammer the full Vertebraid for a macro coil. And since you've got 6 strands of 28, you've already got quite a bit of wire there. As always, be aware of battery safety, know your device, know what it can run, and just stay careful. But since I'm putting this tutorial together for Tommy, I figure I might as well do something ridiculous because all of his builds are incredible and they blow my mind every single time I see him. So, stand by. Okay, so I've just got a little stovetop here. I'm going to throw this in a Tobe H 26650 clone. And I think I'm going to use the split leads for the negatives. Okay, so we've got our stovetop started at least. Tighten down my positive pin here. Let's just go ahead and clip those positive leads. I want them out of the way. There we go. Okay, so now I've got the stovetop basically squared up. And I'm going to go around to the other side and attach the split leads to the negatives. So obviously this particular configuration isn't meant to be insanely practical, but it's probably insane. I've never done it, so it was fun to play around. Okay, so I hope you guys really get a kick out of this one. I threw it on my Sageli 150, and this thing is clocking in at about 0.4 ohms. And it actually works pretty well. You can see the coil relaxing a little bit there. It's still settling in. But it pumps, and it heats evenly. I'm happy with it. I might actually wake this sucker up and see what she does. Okay, so I've got her all juiced up here. See what she does. Found a big old chuff cap that'll fit under too, so I'm going to give her a rip here. It's definitely warm at 150. She chucks. Holy cow. Stovetops are amazing for vertebraids, especially if you can get them lower down on the deck. You don't have to do the whole weird split leads thing. The flavor is great with the Vertebraid because you've got so many smaller wires coming into play. Like I said, I prefer to hammer them just very lightly to get a more even firing surface, more contact with the cotton. I'd even encourage you to try 30 or 32 gauge and get into the 5 loop and 7 loop. If you guys are interested, we can do a tutorial on those too, although it's a pretty basic variation on what you just saw. So I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. For build mode, this is N Circles 36. Vape on and build them all.